Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 1.12% to 42,406. Ethereum up 2.33% to 3189. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you'd like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. Rule 774. Master yourself to master the market. Crypto technical analysis is a profession and a professional discipline, just like a doctor, engineer, lawyer, accountant, programmer. It comes with its own set of rules, and emotional control is one of those. Maintaining a positive excellence life trend isn't just optional for crypto technical analysts, it's a requirement to act with integrity and decency, with strength, boundaries, fulfillment and meaning is really important. We are very specific people. We don't analyze the charts like other people analyze. We let price reveal itself. We let the future actions show themselves to us. We don't impose our will over the crypto charts. And that is the same with life. We have no requirement to impose our will on other people. That creates inner and outer peace and harmony. We analyze charts with integrity, and this is incredibly important. So many people can make narratives around price action. We simply interpret what is happening. Rule 733. Professionals are not emotional. They are professionals because they have an unemotional skill. For example, if you're going into surgery for a really dangerous operation, you wouldn't want the surgeon to be too emotional. You just want that surgeon to focus on fixing the problem. That's what we do as crypto technical analysts. We have a wide range of skills, but we also have a professional outlook, and not just inside the crypto space. Maintaining a positive excellence life trend is a cornerstone of crypto technical analysis. I'd just like to let the masterclass students know that the trigger section has been released. So if you were one of the first foundation members, that should be opening up to you right now. As many masterclass students know, this is not simply some rebadge masterclass. This is completely new, and it actually evolves crypto technical analysis to a new level. You'll see many new concepts throughout the masterclass. These methods and techniques have never been seen in public before. There are 37 lessons in the trigger section. Just take your time, move through one at a time. There's no rush. In the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, I've literally upgraded all of candlestick pattern analysis and theory and simplified it dramatically and made it, more importantly, 100% applicable to crypto. There's a lot of extreme fear in the crypto market at the moment. For professional traders and professional investors, this is exactly the time where we lean in. Leaning in means that we actually stagger our buy layers over a variety of different supports. When you can see price coming down like this, the extreme fear entering the market, price comes down as well. These are the perfect opportunities to dollar cost average in. However, most retail investors and traders do not think this way. They predominantly sell the red and buy the green, thereby destroying their profit margins. Sometimes investors don't think too much about it because they say, I'm in this for the long term. Rule 138. All investors become traders every time they buy or sell. Whether you're investing or trading, understanding how to buy and sell is really, really important. Rule 112. Markets profit in uncertainty. In these times of great stress, great fear, that's when professionals lean into the market. They're actually buying what a lot of people are selling right now. My focus is to share the smart money mindset. One way of doing that is Rule 130. Make volatility your best friend. Understanding that crypto goes up and down by very wide margins will help you to prepare your mind and actually take advantage of volatility instead of being wrecked by it. Another critical rule is to understand the massive role that Bitcoin plays in the crypto market. Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. This is a really, really important rule, and unfortunately so few people actually understand it. Many people are talking about a cataclysmic sell-off in Bitcoin and the crypto market. We can tell by the KS model. You can see these red bands, red band and green band. This red band holds Bitcoin's price. If a black swan was to occur and something like the COVID sell-off, we would anticipate the price would go no lower than around $25,907. That's this particular red figure up here when I release the mouse. What that means is that the previous all-time high would not be violated. That is a hallmark of the crypto market. Of course, black swans can do a variety of different things, but we're not detecting any black swan behavior. In fact, we're detecting absolutely the reversal of that. Things seem to be going quite well. What happens with retail investing is that people see the price come down for a protracted period of time, and then they get psychologically phased out of their positions by smart money. That's why I'm here. I'm here to show you there's a way to align with smart money so you don't get crushed by it. You can actually profit from that knowledge. To help people understand where they might be in the institutional mindset, I created Kson Analysis. These are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 and Zone 2, the panic and blame zone, are all about certainty. People, when they enter a market, they need certainty. There is no certainty in the crypto market. There is only probability. When people have finished panicking, they start to blame and get into conflict with others. But that's short-lived because there's no point in blame. It's all about forgiveness. People can't time the top. They can't time the bottom. That addiction to perfection is just unrealistic. So that helps move people out of Zone 1 and Zone 2 into Zone 3. Also, a lot of people think that they can capture every positive move in the market, and if they don't, they're somehow deficient. That is not the way people think in Zone 3. In Zone 3, we have concentrated focus because we simply cannot manage all the opportunities that exist. We only need to pick ones that we believe, long-term, medium, or short-term, they are going to move in the direction that we wish. I call this the certainty trap. In Zone 1 and Zone 2, people get caught in this trap of thinking certainty exists, and scammers take advantage of people in Zones 1 and Zones 2. They say such things like 0% loss, 100% profit, absolute rubbish. Anybody that promises you those kind of things, run away from them as quickly as possible. The percentages really depend on several factors, the majority of which is the mindset of the person. We actually go through Real Wealth every day on the community channel because I'm trying to help people to get out of Zone 1 and Zone 2 and into Zone 3 and Zone 4. Zone 3 is the patience and rule zone, where we use probabilistic fearlessness. We sleep very well at night because we also have a 10-5-10 volatility fund. That's where we make volatility our best friend. We have a lot of forgiveness for ourselves because we cannot pick the top, we cannot pick the bottom. It's just impossible to do, but we can capture the main moves. We base all our decisions on probability and layering in. We have tremendous patience. It can take months for things to come to fruition. In zones 1 and zones 2, everybody wants instant gratification. That's why they leverage up with small amounts of money and end up blowing their accounts. It's really sad to see. A lot of people who cannot afford to lose money do so because simply they are undertaking leverage. In zones 3 and zones 4, we only use spot. Why is that? Because when you pick cryptos, they've already got the leverage incredibly built into them. It's already there. And buying at spot means that you own what you buy. You must be an owner to make sustainable profitability. Some people, when they come from the stock market and Forex, they don't believe in owning, they believe in derivatives. For the stock market and Forex, that makes a lot of sense, but when they get into the crypto market, they can get very smashed financially because crypto can move plus and minus 30% per month. But crypto technical analysis is much more than just consistent profitability. It's about finding meaning in life. It's about living by life's rules. It's about accepting reality and not overlaying what we want to happen, but just interpreting what is. It's a very, very different mindset. To understand crypto, we need to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the undoubted gravity center of the crypto universe. We can see with Bitcoin at the moment, it's currently trading at 42,047. It's seeking to get above this level of resistance that's playing out at 41,933. Well, it's just a little bit above that. But you can see there's been a lot of rejections through here. What does that mean for price? Could it come down further? Absolutely it could. This is always the way. We have to think about 3 potential outcomes. That's what smart money does. We make in advance probabilistic choices. What if Bitcoin comes down? What if it goes up? What if it just goes sideways and consolidates? These 3 choices are made by every smart money or institutional investor out there. We need to do this because of Rule 4. Price moves in waves. Price is not static. It doesn't simply just go up and down. It moves around in a cycle. So we can see that there has been movement down, up, down, a little bit up, down. We can assume that this particular price action could go down, it could go sideways, or could go up. But what is the probability? That's the key. We're not about certainty because we know certainty is just a fantasy inside crypto. We can see 2 levels of resistance here. We're in this red zone. When we look at KS 3-color analysis or tricolor analysis, it's basically there to help us understand, are we in a red zone? Are we in a I don't know where I'm going zone? Or are we repairing and in a good place? What we can see is we're under 2 levels of resistance. To a lot of traders and a lot of investors, this would mean, okay, we're going down and there's no way we can go up. But the problem is, with crypto, it's actually a highly manipulated market. And that manipulation is retail sentiment. Smart money knows that pushing the prices down like this will freak a lot of people out into selling. The long-term prospects of Bitcoin and crypto are unbelievable, and the institutions know it, but they want to pick up as cheaply as possible. From an analysis of past probabilities, I said basically on December the 5th that we could go as low as 37,000. This was based on an analysis of past price action and how it does this kind of pattern. When we have a long tail rejection, frequently price will pass below it to a certain percentage level. That's how I got this 37,000. I had a couple of people in the comments on YouTube ask me, how did I get that number? That's how I got that number. About 5 weeks ago, I pointed to this potential at episode 358, December the 5th. This has happened many times before, so it can happen again. And if it does, that's fine, because all we'll see is a bottoming out of price at very strong support levels. A lot of influencers are talking about massive price drops. I just don't see it, and I'm looking for it. I think the problem is that a lot of people get caught up with the retail mindset. The retail mindset is simply, if it's going down, it's not going to stop going down. If it's going up, it's not going to stop going up. The institutional mindset is incredibly different. Smart money mindsets don't think like retail. When we look at liquidations across the past 24 hours, they are incredibly low. 98.28 million occurring across 35,738 trading positions. We can see from the past 24 hours, about 56% of liquidations were short liquidations. We've got really low volume in here. In all probability, the shorts have gained a degree of confidence, a degree of certainty that prices are going down. That's exactly the wrong time to be shorting now. If you are shorting, please be careful. It's interesting to see the smart money mindset in action. You can look back to around May, and we can see that when price was coming down, this particular wallet, this large wallet, was accumulating Bitcoin. This is what smart money does. Even though this was a very big reduction and caused losses, Warren Buffett has always said, buy when there's blood in the streets, especially even if it's your own blood. This is what this smart money wallet was doing, and you can see they were selling as the price came up. This is what smart money does. It inverses the concept. You can see a lot of buying activity in this wallet, not selling activity. That's because smart money knows the rules. When price comes down dramatically, that's exactly where you want to layer in. And layering in does not mean that you pick the bottom. Only retail mindsets think that you can pick that. Professional mindsets don't worry about tops and bottoms. What we worry about is participation, getting into the trade and stacking probabilities. The smart money mindset is not fazed by negative news. It actually uses negative news as a catalyst to enter positions. If we look at Bitcoin versus the airlines and transportation indexes, and Masterclass students, you will have this chart. When you reach the appropriate section, we can see that we're getting recovery in the airlines index, and some of these transportation indexes are doing rather well as well, despite the number of C19 cases exploding around the world. Literally, there are 307.7 million C19 cases, and we've seen a large increase in the daily number. Fortunately, the death rate is going down, but it's still there. And if we look to the past, well, maybe we look to yesterday. Yesterday, there were 2.239 million new cases. Irrespective of this, we can see the airlines indices improving. We can see the transportation indexes improving. This is really important. Press and media sell a story of doom and gloom. That's great to get you to read papers and click on ads, but the charts tell the truth. That's what we do. In crypto technical analysis, we look very broadly because we need to layer probabilities. When looking at inflation expectations, we can see inflation expectations are increasing as well. This is really, really good for Bitcoin. We notice that there is a divergence at the moment, but we also realize that across the weekend, things can get a little bit light in terms of trading. Masterclass students, you will also have this chart when you reach the appropriate point. When we look at Chinese property market sentiment, this is the key that we need to really understand. Evergrande, Fantasia, Cynic, and these 7 companies hold net debt of in excess of $1 trillion, not the small like $396 billion that Evergrande is touted as having. They are very indebted companies. But what is happening? Evergrande is in technical default. But what is the share price doing, and what does this mean? Masterclass students, you will also have this chart when you reach the appropriate point in the masterclass. When we zoom into the chart, we can see that these Chinese property giants are actually improving in share price. What does this mean? We can see the blue line, that is Evergrande, that is bouncing up. What does this actually mean? It means that these companies are not going to go bust. If they were going to go bust, it would mean that these share prices would all be tanking. They would literally drop off a cliff. That is not what we're seeing here. So why is this occurring? You can see the white one, Vanke, it's doing really well. And you can see, for example, Evergrande is coming up in terms of share price. This is because the Chinese Communist Party will support the Chinese property sector internally. Of course, external bondholders in US denominated debt are on their own, but the internal market will be safe and secure, absolutely. Property is so important to the Chinese people. We also need to get an understanding of the interplay between stocks and bonds and crypto. Crypto is incredibly speculative. It's literally the internet before people understood what the internet is. And that's exactly what crypto is. Crypto is the ownership layer of the decentralized Web 3.0. Stocks are stocks. Their ownership in different companies in different industries. Completely different from crypto. One day we will look at crypto and say, how do we ever live without it? I'd like to bring you back to this particular picture. This was in the dark days of the internet around 1994, when people were passing the new fad, the internet, and saying, oh, we're not interested in this internet thing. It's exactly what's happening now with crypto. A lot of people don't understand that crypto is the ownership layer of the decentralized internet. That's what it is. Web 2.0 was centralized. That's all the social media giants and etc. What when you look at crypto, it is the decentralized, the Mana, the ILVs, the SANs, the metaverses, the DeFi. It's incredible. It's going to change the planet. But of course, a lot of people don't actually know what they're putting money into. You're putting money into the next evolution of our society. But a lot of people still think that Bitcoin and crypto are fads. Let's have a look at how faddish it actually is. Going to CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin compared to the largest fiat currencies in the world. Where is Bitcoin? Just look at this max supply. Unlimited, unlimited, unlimited. Ooh, 21 million Bitcoin. Number 15. It's above the value of the Thai baht, the Mexican peso, Singapore dollar, and just below the Russian ruble and the Swiss franc. This thing has teeth and it's taking off, and it's literally in its infancy. Can you imagine when people think to themselves, just like they had to think with the internet, oh, hang on, it's not a fad, it's real. I can put my business on it, I can transact, I can get customers from all over the world. You can imagine what's going to happen with crypto. Crypto opens up entirely new business models. What all this means is that money from stocks and bonds will flow into crypto. Crypto's market capitalization, I've just used 2 trillion as just an easy measure to understand how it can increase. When, for example, we get 10% of the stock market and 10% of the bond market flowing into crypto, crypto will be enormous. Many retail investors just think from a different perspective to institutional investors. Institutional investors actually know that there's $1,000 trillion simply in derivatives. This is not including stocks and bonds. So what are the markets telling us? We've had a slight jump in fear, but nothing significant. Why are we getting this jump in fear? We always get this cyclical movement. It's just really, really normal. What is this blue line behind here? This is Bitcoin's fingerprint, Bitcoin's price action. What's happened to the NASDAQ 100? It's slightly below a 1 support line. It's probably going to come back to this particular point around 15,361. Is that a problem? No, it's in an uptrend. It's just simply trying to get above this level of resistance, consolidating around a level of support. Nothing to see here. What do we see with oil? Oil is on the way up. Of course, this will fuel expectations on inflation. What are we seeing with bond prices? They're literally falling off a cliff. And what do we see with yields? They're coming up strongly. When we see these kind of things, there can be a variation, a differentiation between current price action in Bitcoin and ultimate price action. The increase in yields is really good for Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's good for the stock market, but it's incredibly good for Bitcoin. What do we see with gold? It's just retesting that support. Nothing to see here again. What do we see about the US dollar? It's just coming down and testing a lower level of support. Again, not much happening. And when we put all of these things into context, we can see that there is not really any systemic risk in the market at the moment. That doesn't mean that prices can't come down, but the probability is that we will get through these resistance levels. This is simply a smart money trick, which is called, well, I call it a technical violation. It's where smart money violates technicals on purpose. Over the many decades that I've been in financial markets, I've seen it time and time and time again. It actually gets rid of people who don't have conviction on what they're doing, and that actually sells in to strong hands. That's why I always talk about the smart money mindset, because I want you to have that focus on the market. You really need it inside crypto. If you don't have it, you'll get shaken out of your positions and you could well lose all your money. If you do have it, you will understand the rules of the game and you will be very good. You'll actually be able to sleep well at night. Decreasing stress is really, really important when it comes to investing and trading. The stock market actually tells us that everything is on track, nothing to see here. So what does that mean for the crypto market? Basically, crypto is just doing a wave down. There was a lot of confusion as to what Evergrande would create inside the world. Would it create another GFC? It doesn't look like it. We can see that because we look at the Evergrande chart and all the other property market participants. We look at their share price. We don't care what the news is saying. We go independently of the news. Why is that? Because retail consumes the news. Smart money produces the news. Always be aware of that. What can we see here with Bitcoin? Hitting a level of technical support. Of course we expect a bounce. What about Ethereum doing exactly the same thing? What about Binance Coin coming down to meet a dual level of support here? And we've seen one of those 10-5-10 levels, the 42430 filled. What about Sol? Sol is coming into an area of support. We would expect a technical bounce. What about Cardano? Poor old Cardano. Charles, what are you doing? You need to get in and do something with ADA. No, ADA's looking really, really weak, unfortunately. Let's have a look at XRP. XRP is also looking a little weak. Please bear in mind that when you look at Bitcoin's fingerprint, that blue line, when the blue line, Bitcoin, starts to turn around, the alts will out-rally Bitcoin, and this is always the case. People talk about alt season. It's an absolute misnomer. They don't understand one very, very important rule. That's rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We don't have to worry about alt season. Just look at what Bitcoin does. Its directional movement will influence your beloved alts. If Bitcoin is coming down, there's a 99% probability that your alt will be going down with it. That's why we spend so much time on Bitcoin. If you don't understand the stock market, you don't understand the potential impact of C19 on transport and all of those other factors, you're basically in the dark, because everything comes down to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin moves the crypto market. We can see time and time again, Bitcoin's fingerprint is the gravity of other alts. It is that way at the moment. It may change over time, certainly, but right now that's the play. That's what happens. We can see DOT is coming down, but it's coming down with Bitcoin's fingerprint. All of these ones are. What we can see with Luna has a lot of strength. This is one of a divergent group of cryptos. These are really, really good to look at. When you can see divergences, they're important to take a note of. A lot of people can say, but Ken, it's moving in a completely different direction. Look at Bitcoin's fingerprint. What it's doing is it's overextending the directional movement. You can see Bitcoin came down, Luna came down. You can see this bottoming out. Luna was bottoming out, and now it's starting to show a little bit of resilience, a little bit of turnaround. So Luna's going up. It's still moving with Bitcoin, even though that may not be very easy to see. When you look at it from this perspective, it looks a little different, doesn't it? But when you drill in, you can see what I see. You basically know what's happening with the entire crypto market by looking at Bitcoin's fingerprint, the blue line. You can see it's come down below a level of support, hitting another level of support back there. What do we see? With Doge, it's doing the same. What about AVAX? It's doing the same. And AVAX is starting to show divergence, starting to show much, much more power. It's really good to understand that. SHIB is doing the same. Matic is really, really strong. When you see patterns like this is what you want to be involved with. Litecoin, doing Bitcoin's action, and we can see Uni doing the same. Chainlink has been doing really, really well recently. We've seen a low, a higher low, and positive price momentum under Chainlink. Good on you, Chainlink. Fantastic. Algo is doing pretty much what Bitcoin is doing. And this is why we need to look at Bitcoin. If you want to understand your alt, look first at Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash, doing exactly what Bitcoin is doing, selling down. We can see Tron showing weakness. You notice that some of these alts show strength. For example, Cosmos has been doing really, really well. And some show weakness, such as Tron. Keep your eye on the weak and the strong, and the ones that follow and the ones that diverge. It's really, really powerful. What about Mana, Decentraland? It's coming down, but it's finding a level of support. What about Axie doing the same thing as Mana at the moment? Stellar, looking quite good, consolidating along this particular level. VET doing the same thing, consolidating. FTX token, or FTT, still under resistance but starting to turn around. Masterclass students use the EC method to see that really easily. We can see Cosmos. Cosmos is really spiky. You want to take advantage of these spikes where you can, but you need patience. These spikes can take weeks to play out, and that's why patience is so critical for professional traders and professional investors. Retail traders and retail investors have absolutely no patience. I basically say that retail trading and investing is like turning up to uni for the first class and saying, give me my degree. I want my degree now. I turned up, I want it. Or going to a new job and you walk in the door, say, where's my desk, and give me a raise. That's just not realistic. Everything in life takes time. Let's have a look at the next date, EGLD. Just under resistance, but you can see it's doing exactly what Bitcoin's price action is doing. Sometimes particular alts will go out of phase, but they never really move past the directional bias of Bitcoin. For example, like the other alt that I showed you, when Bitcoin goes up or equals out, they move. That's very, very fascinating. What we can see with ICP, there's a bit of a divergence. We've got a lot of sell pressure coming down this line, and ICP has been under pressure for a very long time. If you look at where it started, around $3,000, it's now $41. Not the best investment that you could have made. When we get a little bit of a kick up, for example, to resistance, we need to keep in mind the overall trend of this crypto. For me, ICP is a miss. I wouldn't touch it with a 1,000-foot pole. Does that mean you can't make money from ICP? No, of course you can. You can see from here, that was 22. It's gone up by quite a lot. But for me, I wouldn't touch it because the negative bias on this chart is far, far too great for me to handle. I want something that goes the other way. I want something that goes down here at 1 cent and goes to $100. That's the kind of thing that you want. Let's have a look at Sand. Sand is meeting a level of support through here. We can see Filecoin also very much like ICP's price action. Filecoin is a really, really good project. It's been smashed around recently, and you can see that smashing has been going on for some time. But it did have its time in the sun. Filecoin is a really, really interesting project. Hopefully they can get their act together and do really well. But at the moment, the chart tells us nobody is interested in Filecoin. Well, of course, some people are interested in Filecoin, but the majority of people are not. That actually places you at a great risk. Selection risk is a really important risk to manage in crypto. Much, much more important than a lot of people give credit. HBAR is still under resistance, but it's starting to make higher lows. This is a really good sign. You want to look for things like this. What about Theta? Theta was doing really well, had a spike above its resistance line, now collapsed back to a support level. But what do we see with Bitcoin's price action? Exactly the same thing. It's really interesting to look at Theta. When you look at Theta with Bitcoin's fingerprint, you can see that Bitcoin's fingerprint is impacting Theta, but just a little lagged out, but then it comes back into sync. You'll notice this all the time. Cryptos sink in and out of Bitcoin's gravity, but ultimately no alt can escape the gravity of Bitcoin. When it's going down, no alt can withstand it. When it's going up, no alt can withstand that either, and the up ones are what we want. We can see Ethereum Classic is under a lot of negative momentum. NEAR is looking really good. We've got a very solid structure, but please be aware, NEAR is very, very spiky. It can rally and it can collapse very quickly. You want to really keep your eye on this. A lot of people are impatient. They simply want to place their order and get it filled in the next minute. It can take weeks to get orders filled, and even more weeks to have them sold. So just please keep that in mind. The market doesn't care about what your agenda is. It doesn't care about what bills you have to pay. It only moves in the way that it does. And if you have that realization at the start, that's much, much better than thinking the market can save you. That we need to move within the market cycles. Looking at some community favorites, we can see VRA is still under resistance, but it's simply following Bitcoin's price action. It's subject to the gravity. Icon, subject to the gravity of Bitcoin as well. This is playing out all across the crypto market. Now you can see why it's so critical to look at what Bitcoin does. We can see a divergence in Bitcoin's price action with CRV. These are always fascinating to analyze. Just keep your eye on CRV. It's coming into a support line. We would anticipate a technical bounce here. What do we see with IOTA? It's simply following Bitcoin's price action. Many people could say, what's wrong with my crypto? Why is it doing this? The answer, Bitcoin. Let's have a look at EGLD. I put this in as a community favorite. We've covered EGLD already. Let's have a look at RLC. RLC is still under resistance, but starting to turn around. Audio has just lost a support line, but does that mean it's all over? Absolutely not. Cryptos eat technicals for breakfast. That's rule 234. Cryptos eat technicals for breakfast. What does it mean? It actually means that there are three forms of crypto technical analysis. One is from the stock market. Stock market people come into crypto and say, stock market technical analysis applies, and then their accounts get crushed and they don't know why. The other group is the Forex traders. They come in to the crypto market and say, well, technical analysis that I did for Forex will apply in crypto. It really doesn't. Crypto requires its own form of crypto technical analysis. That is what I teach in the masterclass. And of course, I share it with the community every day on the free channel, and always will. That's why I talk a lot about technical violations. To me, this is nothing more than a technical violation, because Bitcoin's gravity is pushing audio below a particular support line. But as Bitcoin comes into a level of technical bounce, we would expect the entire crypto market to bounce with it. What about Cartesi? CTSI is just following Bitcoin's fingerprint. Be warned, Cartesi is really, really spiky. It can be excellent for spike trading. I cover spike trading in the masterclass trigger section. For those masterclass members that have opened up the trigger section, please do each video one at a time. I lay out very, very important knowledge, lay it one step at a time. If you miss particular lessons, you will miss critical foundations. Please make sure you just keep on going one at a time. Exercise your patience. It will really, really work for you. I'd like to thank all the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/CryptoTradingKS. And I wanted all the coffee club members to know that I will be putting a new post out later today. I've just been really busy with getting the masterclass materials out and also creating the masterclass forum. The masterclass forum is on the way, but the trigger section is out now. So I just wanted to give you an update. That will be coming out later on today. To finish off with, I think it's really important that people understand certain patterns play out in the crypto market all the time. When we saw this long tail rejection, I said around 30,000 would be the low, and that turned out to be approximately the case. We did dip a little bit below to around 29, but it was a pretty good call, and I made it on the day. For this particular price action, I believe we can go a little bit lower, back to, for example, around 37,000. If we do get there, believe me, it will be a gift. It will be a fantastic opportunity to pick up cheap crypto. But if we don't get there and things turn around, that is also very much on the cards. That could happen. Please always have your three-way strategy and don't make it academic. Just say to yourself, price has gone to 37,000. What do I do? Price is just bumbling along at this particular price right now, 41,900. What do I do? Or price has just gone up to 55,000. What do I do? It's really important to have those in advance decisions made. If you don't, you won't sleep very well at night and you will have a tremendous amount of unnecessary stress. I don't want that for you. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Some members of the community have reached out and said, Ken, is HEX a good investment? I can't say whether something is a good investment or not, but I can certainly say if it has volume integrity. Let's just have a quick look at HEX. What I'm talking about when we talk about volume integrity, how much money is required to move volume? So the market cap, what do we see here? We can see 642,000. For example, up here, the market capitalization of HEX was about $60 billion. And what did we see? What did it take to move it up from 50 billion to 58 billion? So an 8 billion increase took $210,000. So it took around 210,000 to boost up 8 billion. Would you invest in this? For me, as a professional trader, absolutely not. Why? Because if I wanted to sell here, I would know that the price would come down exponentially. And you can just look at the volume here to lose. What did HEX lose in value? From 60 billion to around 37. Wow, that is quite a drop. And what is the volume through here? Not much. Just please bear that in mind. For this reason and this reason alone, I would not touch HEX. But a lot of people do. And a lot of people, there are a lot of cryptos out there exactly like HEX. So please be aware. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.